Hey everybody, happy Monday. I am here with Governor candidate Danielle Bethell. I just wanted to do a quick check-in with her. I know she's super busy. She is already on the campaign trail and I think you've been collecting signatures, right? How's the past couple days been going collecting signatures?
Yeah, really great. Oregonians are very enthusiastic. As you may have seen in the media on Saturday, people were lining up in communities all over the state. I live in Marion County and I hosted a drive-through signing yesterday. And in 4 hours, we collected almost 700 signatures of just people not getting out of their cars, just rolling through. Very
Wow.
bipartisan, nonpartisan approach, which is super cool.
That is very cool because you're going to be running for governor in a blue state, but I actually think it's a purple state. I think a Republican can absolutely win. So for everybody watching, you are running as a Republican candidate. Um, so you'll have to win in the primary, which
Yep.
I'm pulling for you. I've been watching your stuff on social media. If anybody's watching this and you don't know Danielle Bethel, please follow her on Facebook. I think you're on all of them, X, everywhere, and you're super engaged. You're what people I think want to hear from a candidate for governor. But I guess I have a quick question. What made you start? Like, what was the initial thing? You're a commissioner for Marion County. You've already got a decent job and a decent foothold on politics and on government managing, and you're doing a great job there. Why governor? What made you step up and run for governor?
Because I'm really just frankly sick and tired of not having a partner in that office. I'm tired of politicians and policymakers coming in from the legislature to the governor's office, acting like they know how to run a government and then just not running a government, not partnering with other levels of government, just not being a partner. And at the end of the day, Oregon is suffering because of it. And as a local elected Marion County commissioner, I run a government today, a very efficient one. And I know I can scale that to the state. And I want the opportunity to serve Oregonians across the entire spectrum of Oregon, not just Portland, which is what we've faced for the last like 38, 40 years.
For sure. I mean, we have not been listened to, and I've been looking at some of your campaign graphics, and you've got two main ones that stuck out to me. No more taxes and fees added on to the ones we already pay. We need to live
Yeah.
within our means, like absolutely. And then the second one, huge, huge. And this is like why I started my platform. And it sounds like a big reason why you decided to run for governor, which is we do not have a government. We do not have people in power that are listening. And that is like,
Yeah.
thank you. Like even the fact that you're on here means that you're listening. You're willing to engage with people way down here in Coos County. How is that? Like you're running for governor. That's a huge undertaking while managing your county
Yeah.
commissioner position. Um, what makes you set aside time for people down here in Coos County?
Well, as a young adult, I spent a fair amount of time riding four-wheelers down in your neck of the woods. I just think
Okay.
that there's a lot of opportunity for people to experience Oregon as a whole, especially our rural communities. I like peace, and I think that's why I retreat to rural communities of the state. But at the end of the day, the listening component, I like you with just being a person in a space, hoping to have a safe community, a healthy, vibrant community, an affordable community. And none of those things are coexisting right now in Oregon because of the politics of state leaders. And I, even as a county commissioner in the fifth largest county in the state, cannot get people in leadership at the state level to engage with me. And I think that's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. And I'm in Salem. My office is 3 blocks from the Capitol. I deserve better. And I'm just
We do.
frustrated. And I don't know everything. That's like just full disclosure, like not perfect, don't know it all. And unless I show up in the communities and talk to my neighbors county by county, I'm not going to be able to know what their needs are to be able to help deliver the outcomes they're after. I can't just guess. That's not the kind of leader that I am.
Well, we do need, you're absolutely right. We need leaders who are accessible, and we do not, we live in a geographically large state, but it populated
Yeah.
wise, it's not. We live in a state where we should be able to have access to our leaders, even at the state level. And you're right, it's not there, and that's sad. And it's very partisan, and it shouldn't be. And again, you are running as a Republican candidate, but you are one of the most like even keeled, nonpartisan candidates from the partisan side that I've seen in a while. So it's refreshing. I've watched some of your lives. If people are watching and they want to get to know Danielle, she has stuff on her Facebook page where you'll do like a couple minutes from your car sort of thing, and you'll talk about relevant
Yeah.
issues. When food stamps was a big, you know, issue that everyone was kind of worried about. I really appreciated your even keeled statement on it and your approach. I did have a question. You mentioned public safety, like being able to be safe in our
Yeah.
communities. Um, what do you think we can do to make communities safer around here? Like what's something the governor should be doing to help our communities be safer?
Well, I think first of all, the governor needs to understand county by county what the challenges are. So we can health. A lot of people, no matter what region you're in, that are struggling on the streets with their mental health and addiction crisis, it's not the governor's job per se to solve that. It is the governor's job to partner with local cities to come up with a solution that meets the cultural needs of the community. Investing in systems of care that are scalable by every single county in the state is really important. Rural counties are always left out of conversation, invited to the table. It's really inconvenient for them because they in this role running for governor is I was recently the Association of Oregon Counties president. So I spent time in every course of 3 years working with local elected leaders. I understand the gaps and I want to work together to solve the problems and those gaps, not just come in with an idea of my own that doesn't apply to the culture in the community. I won't be able to come to the table on day one and say, Coos County needs this. I expect the county commissioners and the city councilors and mayors of that county region to show up to the table to have the conversation, to lay out the needs so that way I can go design a system that can deliver the funding, which is what the government at the state level is supposed to do. They're not supposed to be telling us how to run our communities. They're supposed to help us be successful with funding and backing.
And you've already set the footwork for that, the groundwork for it, because you told me just before we went live that you're actually already having those conversations. You're meeting with the county commissioners and starting
Yep.
those conversations before you're even in office, which is very cool. Tell me about that. What's your schedule? What's it like being a governor candidate for the next week?
Oh my gosh. So this week I'm actually in Lane County where the Association of Oregon Counties hosts an annual conference and commissioners from all over Oregon will be here. And we will work together this week to hear from each other, learn from each other, and then problem solve together. The goal at the end of the week is to be able to have an understanding of how we're going to go into the next year. So 2026 with policies that we can all get behind and advocate at the state level for proper outcomes. But one of the examples I think closer to home that I can give you as far as what I'm doing today, I was down in Curry County a few months ago having conversations with different mayors and city councilors and also individuals in the population. So I met with a large veteran community to understand from them, one, how come they're not showing up to vote? And two, what is it like being a veteran in Oregon in the farthest southwest county in the state? And what I walked away from was a table of people who served our country, who were being ignored. And if I'm just being totally honest, I left pretty pissed off. I felt like the county commissioners were running into brick walls, having no relationship or no response from the state, getting their legs cut off with them because natural resources is being eliminated in the state, which is a primary revenue source for them to provide services, and just a real lack of partnership and trust and understanding from state level leaders. So I doubled down when I came back to work in Marion County. I have relationships that I've established as a county commissioner for my county, and I leaned in and I started asking individuals at the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs and in the governor's office the why behind the lack of resources and partnership in the southwest part of the state. And so far, I've not heard a good answer to my questions. But what I do know is that the commissioners in Curry County are committed and creative. And with the right leader in office, they will be able to deliver on services that are needed for their rural neighbors that are not present today.
Very cool. I appreciate you including rural counties in the conversation. I'm out of questions, and I know you're pretty much out of time because you're very busy, and you only had a couple minutes for this. But did you have anything else you wanted to let people down here in Coos know about your
Yeah.
candidacy?
Yeah, so I would love to come down and meet with your neighbors. I would love for someone to host a meet and greet for me down in your community. I'd like for people to look me up. My website's daniellebethelforgovernor.com. And as you mentioned, I'm on the all social modes. So X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I'd like people to engage there. I will tell you that I get, but people can reach out to me bethelforgovernor.com and ask questions and do my best to engage in that format. But mostly being in person is important to me. Having an activity that can be hosted that I can come down and have a conversation. I don't care what your party is. I'm happy to have the conversation with anybody that wants to come to the table to talk about how we make Oregon a better state for all of us to thrive in.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, here in Coos, we will host you. Absolutely. We have a space for it. And anybody else outside of Coos who's watching, I want you to look up Danielle Bethell because I think she is a very refreshing well, actually, not even a new entry. You were the first. You were the first
Yeah.
one to sign up for this race. So you've been here, but you recently came across my radar just soaring through social media. You're doing a good job. I appreciate it. People in Coos, if you want to sign the gas tax petition we mentioned that everybody's talking about right now, this is where you can go. This is the information for it. We'll be here all week, 2 to 6. And that's all I have. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank
And
you.
good luck. Reach out if you need any help down here. I really appreciate you being able to run for governor. So.
Thank